We're good.
We're good?
Yep.
Everything's fine? Everything's working normally?
I believeth so.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then hello, everybody, and welcome to Collider Life 2.1.
We getting sued.
We're not making any money.
So
what are you going to do?
You're
though?
not
You
making
guys
any money. I'm making all the money. It's all just going directly.
Wait. Wait a second. Hold on. I have questions.
It's an old-fashioned hustle.
We have 3 subscribers.
Yeah, and I robbed
2
all
of them are me. No. Oh, so yeah, you're robbing me as a subscriber, you know. Is that how you deal with Patreon people?
Yeah, you just, every month they gather in the same spot and you're like, give me all your money.
In game.
Okay. You just meet up in Minecraft and you rob them,
yeah. Yeah, totally. Give me all your iron. Anyway, welcome everybody. This is Maybe Next Week. It's a podcast and we talk about... So how's it going? Okay, yeah, on to the next question.
Wrong week for that question.
It's a rough one. I can't, with the disclaimer there, just being like, it's pretty rough for a lot of people right now, especially in the United States. We're counting a lot of votes right now. It's going to take some time. Everyone just needs to just chill out, relax, do as Roxy Stryer says.
But Roxy Stryer cheese, yes, we understand.
Roxy Stryer says, just get high a little bit. You'll be all right.
Just a little bit of dosing. You'll be okay.
Yeah, especially if you live in Oregon.
Oh, yeah, then you'll definitely be okay.
Peanut butter and crack sandwich.
You'll be legally okay, which is very good.
Yeah. Anyway,
now that we've promoted drugs to kids, what do you want to talk about next?
Well, I need to go get a job at PBS.
I think they'd see this and fire you on the spot.
I just don't want to promote drugs to kids. That's all.
Well, join DARE.
That program was
counterproductive. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because they came in, told us not to do drugs, then told us, what was it? They told us the street lingo for all the names of the drugs, the street lingo, where to go specifically to get drugs, and then said, okay, don't do it.
Like, in 10 years, you might be at a street party. Like, you might just be hanging out, and some dude named Chad with shoulder-length hair drives a blue minivan. He might come up to you and specifically ask, hey, man, do you want some of the hippity? And you're like, okay. Well.
The hippity. I was selling the hippity.
He was. Chad was selling the hippity.
Great times, great times.
Oh, man.
This is off to a horrendous start. We're just talking about weird shit, but that's what we do here.
That's what this week is just going to be. Like, I don't have the mental barrier left to just, if it distracts me for 5 seconds, I'm going with it, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I feel that. That's why I've just kind of been pushing forward to tonight, with episode 2 of The Mandalorian coming out. So I've been excited for that all week, to the point where Monday morning, it was either Monday or Tuesday when I was at work. Nope, it was Sunday.
Good job.
Anyway, I was at work, and Tyler was helping me with a project, and he's like, so you excited for this week? Or he's like, are you ready for this week? And I was like, I was so out of it. I was just like, ready for what? He's like, the election? I was like, oh, I'm ready for episode 2 of The Mandalorian this Friday on Disney+. It was like, that's where my mind was at all day. I was just like, oh, episode 1 was so good.
No, as soon as we crossed the threshold into Sunday or Monday, the election was just kind of like everything. It just, my brain wouldn't let go of it.
I mean, that's literally the only thing that's on everybody's minds right now. Everyone's just like, you need to stop stress checking Twitter. And I was like, I cannot do that thing. That I cannot do. Don't ask me to do that. That's the one thing I will not do right now. I have to check Twitter constantly.
I tried not to doom scroll on Tuesday. It was getting pretty bad. And then I just turned everything away, just put it on rest mode, tried out a few games that I hadn't played on PlayStation, just being like, okay, maybe this will entertain me for 5 or 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
Just lose a few minutes of the day, get closer to maybe knowing something. How foolish that was.
Thankfully, I was at work for a majority of the day, Tuesday and Wednesday, so like I didn't have to focus on it as much. I did try to constantly check my phone as much as I could, just because I wanted to see if anything was being updated. I would say that Wednesday I could hardly focus on what I was doing at work because every second I was like, I gotta check my phone. I was like, I don't need to check my phone. I'm at work right now.
Yeah. Our group chat got a little out of hand that night. Just like everyone talking about it, and it was like 11 o'clock or whatever, and like that's what caused my anxiety to spike more than anything. Everyone was just like, "Oh my god, look at this! It looks so bad," and I just didn't have like the mental strength to be like, "Guys, no, it's not. This is pandemic. Mail."
That was the same thing. Like every time I was talking to like everyone at work about it, and mentioning, I was like, if we exclude mail-in votes and looked at this, that's how I had to start every conversation because I know it's like it's gonna take a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, and I was prepared for it to potentially take up to like maybe more than a week, depending on how fast this process was gonna go. Because, they're saying certain states have already decided and all that, but they still have millions and millions of mail-in votes that they got to go through, so it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, I think some of the safer like calls, like what was it that we were looking at? Was it South Carolina that was like super red? There was one state that was like triple the number. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're not regaining that.
Okay, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
I was just like, okay, that's called for sure. Like if AP says it's done, like you can pretty well and truly trust that one's just there's no chance on that. But yeah, like Arizona being called, like, yeah, there's still a chance that state flips, but we're getting as the numbers decrease, it's getting smaller and smaller that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a pretty safe call.
But I feel you when you mentioned talking about trying out new games that you had and just kind of like trying to ignore everything.
Yeah, just trying to push
that's what I did when I was just like, I need something to do. So I ended up getting Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy, excluding the fact that apparently that's the sequel, but I'm having a lot of fun with that game.
It's one of my childhood favorites. It's
I don't know is Academy? I know Outcast is.
Yeah, Academy is the one that I played more than probably any other Star Wars game.
Okay.
Maybe KOTOR 2 might.
KOTOR 2 is undefeated. But I know you specifically you talk about Kyle Katarn being one of your favorites. So that's why I figured it was Outcast, because that's when you play as Kyle.
Yes, but since he's kind of the instructor, but I played Jedi Academy first, so it was like, cool, I like that guy. And then playing through Outcast, I was like, oh, I really like this guy. Cool, like,
yeah,
this is awesome. But yeah, both of those games have just stuck with me for so long. I love both of them.
I'm enjoying it. The Unreal Tournament engine that they use makes the game like really impossible to do a lot of shit, because you're like, I'm gonna jump out of the way of this blaster, and then you jump off a mountain.
You got to get used to it for sure.
Especially on Coruscant, I jumped off of Coruscant buildings like way too often, because like I know in one level of the game you have to jump like onto a hover speeder, from one building and then across it. But if you hit it wrong, you're going to jump short, or you're going to hit the guy on there and bounce again. And it's just like a whole I fell to my death like 6 times, and I was like, how do I do the thing?
I don't remember it being that difficult, but I've also, I think, only played the game on mouse and keyboard once.
I'm doing it on mouse and keyboard. I know my like accuracy is a lot better, but timing jumps is a lot harder. I just want to get Shadows of the Empire again, where I have a jetpack where I can just float across everything.
Yeah, it's been like 20 years since I've played Shadows. That'd be interesting to go back and play.
I'm considering it if it'll work with mouse and keyboard. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I know a lot of games like Rogue Squadron requires a controller or a joystick of some kind.
Yeah, like a flight stick or whatever.
Yeah. But what games you trying out for the first time?
I tried, what do they call it? That new Bless Unleashed, I think is what it is. Bless is an RPG that's been online for a while, like on PC, I think, but it's just hit console, and this is kind of like their re-release. They're trying to bring it out and add kind of a flair around it and be like, hey guys, all this new access, we're bringing out new content, we're doing new things. So I'd heard about the game, but I just picked it up and went through the tutorial in the first like level or so a couple of nights ago. And it's not perfect, but it's enough for me to be like, this will give me enough time to like grind through it and just perfect like mind-numbing activity where I don't really have to think about anything. It's just kind of like fetch quests or kill this amount of enemies, come back here, turn it in for gold. Okay, now go kill this amount of enemies. Like it's that kind of style of questing, and yeah, like, easy as hell to just get lost in for a while, not think about anything. What else was I playing? I have a FIFA career. You know about that. I play with I think they're in the first tier of English football, but AFC Wimbledon. Not a Premier League team, so not the best in Europe. And honestly, garbage overall. It's like none of the players individually in that game are good. Cool people in real life. But
what's your character's name?
No, I'm the manager. His name is just Jack Manager. So they'll be like, hey, Jack, I need to talk to you about this. And then sometimes you'll get an email. It's like, Mr. Manager. You're like, that's me. I'm your guy.
You with the names, man. You come up with the dumbest shit for names.
I've got some good ones. I've got some all-time classics. Trash Rascal, my UFC 4 character. Or UFC 3, wasn't it? Yeah, it was UFC 3.
Your not NBA. Was it 2K?
It's probably NBA Live if it's Cowabunga Frankenstein.
Yeah, I was just a Cowabunga Frankenstein.
Yeah. My 2K21 small forward is Jamario Ankle Bracelet. Barbecue Hank was my WWE character from a couple of years ago. And
you've got a slew of Bloodborne characters that I don't even feel like repeating.
Well, I mean,
Miss Frizzle was a good one.
I've got my current
Jesus
one.
H. Christ.
Yeah, so the first one, my first ever Bloodborne character, I don't think we can say on the podcast, but
I don't.
The second one, Jesus Harpoon Christ. Yeah, he's pretty solid. I think my current Bloodborne character is Mrs. Claus. I think.
Was it because I know you played that Genshin Impact game and your character's Claus, Santa.
Yeah, so I think it might be Mrs. Kringle. It might be that in Bloodborne, and then it's Claus, Santa.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Miss Kringle because or what? No, you had Miss Frizzle too.
I've used Miss Frizzle in a bunch of things. There's one more that I'm forgetting. I can't remember who it is though.
You did just do Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Like I didn't feel like being creative. His name's just Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Oh, I also have I think Christopher Walken was my NHL goalie as well. Oh, no, those are always fun. Those are always a good time. Oh, my FIFA character from last year was Miles Morales, and he's pretty much pure speed. He doesn't have like any skill of anything. He's just the fastest person he could possibly be.
You dumped all your stats into speed.
Yeah, pretty much all the abilities that like give you more stamina and speed are pretty much everything that I took. And it's he's not very good, but he's fun because if you get out on the fast break and you're just like the only person out there, no one can catch you. It's actually insane.
But you have to be able to have the force to kick the ball into the net.
He's got force, he just doesn't have accuracy. So like he either scores it and it's like, wow, he just beat the whole team and did that himself, or it's like he's by himself, he's on the one-on-one breakaway, clear net, all he has to do is beat the goalie and he just skies it right over the top and into the crowd.
Nice.
It's what we refer to as the Wondolowski around these parts, and it's makes you want to throw your controller every time. I've also been playing a shit ton.
Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing, or is that just something you came up with?
No, Chris Wondolowski famously blew a World Cup game in 2014. I think that was against Belgium. He had a one-on-one opportunity. I don't even remember if the keeper was back in range to save it. Pretty sure he had an open net, and he just put his foot underneath it and sailed it right over the goal, like 80 minutes into a World Cup game, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been like 70 or something.
So he shanked the kick a little bit, kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? The 99 NFC Championship game.
Damn. Yeah, exactly like that.
You just had a Gary Anderson the thing.
Yep. That's it was sad. I remember sitting down there, we were so hyped, everything had been going well, and then he just put his foot into it and I was like, "Goal! No! Oh no!"
And it's gone. It's gone.
Like immediately, as soon as he kicked it, you could just see it lifting over the net. Like there was no, you never thought it was going in. I was like, oh no, how do you do that? And like afterwards, I was like, that has to be the worst kick I've ever seen. And people on social media were like, well, there was so much pressure. He was under, that's an unheard of amount of pressure. You can't blame the guy. And then for like the next year and a half, I was like, I have a personal vendetta
against this man.
I've since forgiven him. Obviously there was a lot of pressure. The USA performing overly well in that World Cup. That's why I was excited. It was just, the reason I was angry is because my heart was broken. We all learned a lesson here.
Oh.
Yeah. It's one of those.
And you came away from that with more fake names to give players in games.
Yeah, that year was probably the first time that I started doing that as a trend. I think that was my first, my Madden character had a really dumb name. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't as good as my current ones, but.
I don't remember any of your Madden characters, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember right off the top of my head either. My current Dungeons and Dragons character is Leopold last name.
Leopold last name.
Yeah. And then I've got a Goliath waiting in the wings whose name is Beanbrow. He plays the bagpipes. Yeah.
And this kind of plays into your idea of wanting to cast a sport that doesn't exist, with players that don't exist, with rules that don't exist.
Yeah, there's a few things that combine into that want. And part of it is my ability to just create dumb names pretty consistently. Part of it was watching John Green, the author and one half of the Vlogbrothers, who he's long run a series where he plays FIFA with, at first it was Swindon Town, and then eventually was AFC Wimbledon, the same team that I'm playing with. Where he just kind of creates a fake narrative for the teams that he's playing as. So like he'll create fake backstories for the characters, give them wives and personal lives, and the two players that travel with him every year, the people that he recreates every year, are John Green and Bald John Green. So they're Bald John Green and Other John Green, companioning him, the original John Green, no matter where they go. And he's gotten to the point where those two are lovers. They're married.
Okay.
And since it was originally just an idea for FIFA 11 when he played with Swindon Town, when he brought them forward into FIFA 13, I think it was, he decided that in order for them to make the leap to FIFA 13 with him, that they had to have been Time Lords, using some type of time travel mechanic to make the jump between time or reality or whatever it was that they were splitting to move from game to game.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And
I think
in some ways it does. And watching that kind of gave me the base inspiration of it, and then combining that with my talent of just making up characters and improvising some really, really stupid shit. Also, Mike Falzone's character, Wrestlin' Fred.
Wrestling Fred.
Yeah, who's not actually a wrestler, but cuts wrestling promos. He's like a hot dog eating like boardwalk champion. Like, he's got a lot of fake credentials that makes him qualified to cut these kind of promos. Mike actually did so well with that character that he partnered with The Rock for their show Rock the Promo on YouTube 2 years ago. But between those three things, they really pushed me in the direction that I think that could land, like doing a fake sport or a fake wrestling, what's the word I'm looking for? Promotion. Where you just put together fake cards and give like a fake update show every week. Or I guess a real update show, but for a fake promotion.
So the whole point was, to my understanding, it would be like you're listening to a radio sportscaster talk about a game in real time. However, you're talking about a sport that doesn't exist, players that don't exist, rules that don't exist. You're making everything up on the spot so that no one listening would understand a damn word of this.
They would understand the concept, but they would never know exactly what they were listening to. It
would be, okay, I'm listening to this guy cast a sport.
Yeah. You're like, okay, this is some type of sports broadcast. Oh, yeah. What did he say? There are 11 men on the field? Oh, okay, so they're playing football. If you have 11 men, okay, yeah, you got to get that guy off. Okay. What? Wait, did he just say? Is that a cricket bat I just heard? What? Did he just say pick up a spare? Hold on. What is going on? And that's kind of the idea, is to just add as many confusing layers to it, but then continue it. Like, you do one report, and then the next week you do another one. And it just keeps going.
And I know you've talked about wanting to try that, and I think this is the prime time for us to try that. Because you wanted it to be in like radio format, and I mean, this is a podcast. I mean, this is about as close as it's gonna get.
Yeah,
and it's even better if it's just off the fly, like we're just making this up as we go.
Yeah, and I think the best part about it was I would probably, if I was doing it for real, I would cut in like halfway or what appears to be in the middle of the game. I wouldn't start with like, hey, this is Jim Booth reporting live from the arena here in wherever. And we're waiting for... No, I want someone to just click play on this thing, and it's just right away. You're caught in the middle of this traffic, essentially. That's always been my goal. Like I said, the first idea was to just commentate a fake sport with fake players and all that stuff. But then the advanced version of that idea was the wrestling thing. I haven't decided if I'm going to do either one of them, for real or not. But I do think that they're funny ideas that could stand on their own especially if I could get someone to or get a couple of people to play along with me, so I could be like, okay, we're cutting down to the field now to speak with Jamario Johnson, and then have somebody else just different mic, different thing, no video component, no video component, so you have no idea what's going on. I'll pump in fake crowd noise and everything. I think it could work. I genuinely do.
I mean, I think we should just give it a try and see what it would sound like, because I know whoever would be watching this is just going to be like, what the hell is this?
All right, I'm down. Give me a second. It's over there. Where's it at? Where the hell did I put it? Yeah, there we go.
This was not planned.
You see?
Disclaimer, it was. Kind of. What we're about to say is not planned.
It was suggested.
It was suggested that we should try this out because I know Alec wanted to try this out. He told me about this weeks ago, and I was like, sure, I'm down for this idea. I told him it was a completely stupid idea, but he was just like, yeah.
That's the entire point. Is that it's just dumb enough that it shouldn't work, but that personally, I've seen that this kind of idea somehow has legs on the internet. Maybe not this one specifically, but ideas typically this dumb somehow find a way to live on the internet. There's just that much of a niche that could get behind this. Let me switch my cups around over here so I actually have water. There we go. That works. So it would be something like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from halftime. The score is 47-7, and it's not looking good for the team in blue. Anyway, my name is Don Johnson, and, we're just moments away from field of play returning, and, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, John Jenkins.
I don't know why you keep calling me that. Hi, my name is Mike Emmerich, and we're reporting live from the bowl.
Sir, your name is Gerald Jenkins, John Jenkins.
Bowl.
John?
Anyway, like you said, for the team in blue, it's not going very well. However, the Silver City Arugulas are trying to catch this win today.
Yeah, and the Sydney Silverfish as well. They're just simply not holding on to their lead out there. It's just, what you would thought would have been a close game, they jumped out 35-0, but since 7 points scored and things are looking up, but it's still a long way to go. And now it looks like the players are taking the field.
I know it's going to be a really hard way to get back this win, especially after that 500-point deduction from the e-break penalty in the first half.
Exactly, but here we are. The action is returning. The player puts the foot under the ball that looks to be number 12. The ball is in the air. He's running. He dodges the Mercedes. He's gone. Oh my God. It looks like still running, and caught up at the 35. That is going to be a hard spare to pick up.
Yeah, exactly. If you think you can run this far and only get to the 35, he still has another 600 miles before he hits the goalpost.
That's going to be the hardest thing to avoid.
And with the floppy disk in hand like that, he has to be sure he misses that Mercedes every time, or else he's not going to get that pop fly into the end zone.
600 miles. Oh, that's brilliant.
He throws it into the field, and it's out into the stadium, into the parking lot.
It's like, okay, we're back for the second play, and all right, the man has
Still
the hand on the
400
ball.
miles to go.
He picks it up, and it looks like his man down the field has the bat ready. It's in the air. That's a swing. It's going forward. It's caught. It's shuffled. It's
It looks like
thrown.
there's a flag on the play.
Oh, the puck is cleared. We'll see what's going to happen. Will they call the play dead? Nope, it's still going. Something's gone wrong here. We have a man down on the field. There is a flag, but it looks like... Who is that?
The flag is for the early play of a spider. That's a late celebration call.
Oh, yes, and it looks like our receiver, Kenny, is still on the run. He makes it about, let's see, that's down to 45. That's down to 55. Okay.
Larry David's trying to catch up for the catch.
Okay, there he is. Oh, and Michael Van Michaels with a huge tackle right there. His team has the ball. They're returning it. Oh, on the flag. This flag. The flag is just, the ref keeps throwing it. I'm wondering what's going on down there. That looks like it's going to be a 35-yard penalty, but we'll have to see what's going on.
It looks like he's trying to cover the entire field with a flag, and that's going to be a pretty big flag considering we are 1,200 miles from the goal.
And as you look, there it is. Yep, there's an American flag dropping right now over the center of the field. And, well, Kenny has now stood up. He's watching. He's shouting to his teammates about the flag. They're ignoring him. They're still chasing the man with the ball. Michael Van Michaels just a stunning effort. He is now to the Mercedes. Does he get around it? And, oh, no, hit laid flat. The floppy disk is in the air.
And with that, we're going to have to cut to our halftime presentation of the second national anthem. Everybody stand and remove your caps.
In the middle of play,
You do it at the beginning of the game. This is the second.
Can you imagine?
Right mid throw. Oh, say. You just throw the ball.
It's just... Because like this part of the game, whatever we're talking about, is clearly like half football, but there's a Mercedes and it's played on like a 5 statewide field.
Someone took an NFL stadium, put it into Photoshop, clicked drag, and stretched it out.
And they're in the middle of the play, and then the national anthem just kicks in again. So as a spectator, you're trying to watch the person who has the ball or the floppy disk or whatever.
We're coming into the second half of the triathlon.
He has dove into the pool. We'll see what he does here. Yep, he dodges the net. Okay, but he does not dodge the harpoon.
Oh, and now he's fist fighting the bull shark.
Oh my god.
It's a bold strategy. I don't know if he can make it out of this one. Oh, but he's going for he got the eye gouge. He's getting away.
Oh, Larry David has jumped in after him. Larry David famously trained with Michael Phelps, an accomplished swimmer, but the laser field
and he
seems to be
curves
giving him
around
trouble.
enthusiasm.
The laser field seems to be giving him trouble. Oh, he cannot get through it. What is happening here? And look at this on the right side. The snake play. It's alive.
He's
It's
going.
Steve.
He's going.
It's Steve in a cardboard box. He's chasing. He's hiding. He's chasing.
Goal!
So yeah, that's the basic concept behind commentating a fake sport.
Yeah, totally. I only freaked out thrice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart rate is 190.
Okay, yeah, that's resting, right?
I'm barely conscious right now.
Okay, so that's resting heart rate, right?
Yeah, for Jaguars. I don't know. I had an idea.
Jaguars.
And then it went away.
Speaking of Jaguars, there's one behind you.
That's just fantastic.
Yeah.
If I don't look at it, it won't know I'm here.
I don't think it goes that way, but I mean, you can try.
Their site is based on smell.
What would that have to do with you not looking at it? Can it smell fear? Do you have the fear?
I am the fear.
That makes it worse.
Get eaten by a jaguar live on camera.
The end.
That was either
Maybe next week we'll be back.
No, I'm dead. You might be back.
Oh, geez. But as we've said before, thank you all for tuning in to Maybe Next Week. We're not done, but it's just time for our halftime sponsor. And our sponsor this week is...
Oh, is it up to me?
What do I have here?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
SanDisk. 64 gig SD cards.
And GameStop sucks.
GameStop stocks, you say? Those are pretty bad.
Well, I think I'd rather have the socks. They're probably worth more.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
First, our second national anthem.
Second national anthem, everybody.
God, I love that idea so much. Just an NFL game, they kick off the ball, dude's middle of the return, and then bum, 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 bum.
Just stop the play for your second national anthem.
Guys to stop mid-step and is just like eyeing down the dude who's going to tackle him. That would be great.
It would be something.
Ignore me putting on chapstick. My lips have been weird.
It'd be that way sometimes.
Oh, I just kind of stared into the camera while I put it on. All the usual things that you do when you put on chapstick.
Fuck. Even when it's turned off, you're just like, yes.
No, especially when it's turned off.
So we got a sponsor that doesn't exist. We have a sport that doesn't exist. But now that something that does exist, we do have a new episode of The Mandalorian tonight, and I am so
I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah. But I'm just that's just what's keeping me going at this point. There's nothing else going on.
Yeah, there's really...
It's get up, go to work, come home. Get up, go to work, come home. Get up, go to work, come home. Have a day off, have a day off. The Mandalorian, get up, go to work, come home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that's fair.
I've been playing Rocket League a lot. That's about the only thing that's been exciting in my life. I made it all the way back up to Diamond before losing like 5 games in a row, and now I'm in Plat 3 again, and it's not fun. It's not fun at all. I hate it. I torture myself with it every day. Don't know why I keep doing that, but I do.
I don't think I'll ever be good at Rocket League, but oh well.
I've played for like 2,000 hours and I'm still not good at it. Like,
okay, whatever good classifies as.
Yeah, like
I can't even hit a damn goal.
Like, yeah, it's just I've put too much time in to be this bad. Honestly, I think I gotta call it.
Better, bro. Just get better, bro.
It's weird because I feel like I do actually have the potential to be better at that game, but somehow I just like don't put it together fast enough. It just takes way too long for me to.
That's me with COD, honestly.
I think because I've did that for so long, so many years in a row, that I think I'm good with COD. I'll probably...
I mean, it's not necessarily the trying to go pro aspect of it, but for me, because I like to label myself as a sniper, there are just some times where I'm just like, why are these shots, why am I missing these? I know I can hit this shot, but sometimes, every time, I drag scope a lot because it's fun. And I'm always like, I'll just pull the trigger way too soon, and I'll just be like, just to the right of where I'm supposed to be, and I miss, and I'm just like, why did I do that?
I feel it. I think that happens with...
That's because, like reasons I want to be good at that is because I want to be better at Warzone, but I can't. I'm bad.
That's another thing that just playing more
yeah.
just fixes it. Like, every time I take a break from Warzone, I am just god-awful at it for the next couple of days.
I was going to say, yeah, if I were more consistent with it and wanted to put forth the effort to play it more, I'd probably be a lot better at it. Mm-hmm. But... since I got my PC, I think I only played like 2 games on it, and the field of view change that you can do on PC as opposed to PlayStation has made me actually sick. Because it's just like, there's so much more that my brain is trying to process, and it's just like, oof, it was a lot.
Yeah, but you can just zoom it in, thankfully. Just go back into
but I want to get to a point where I can just see more. So like, I didn't go the full, I think it's like, what 110 is the biggest window you can get.
I think so in Warzone.
Say, I tried like 100 and that was too much. 105 seems to be the safe space, and I talked to a couple people about it. Like Britt, she also plays on 105. If that's the number I'm thinking of, might be 120 is the highest, and 110 is where I'm at. But either way, that seemed to be a happy medium for me, and I think I was okay there. But then again, when I'm playing solo matches, for one, in the solo matches, I was good at that. On PC, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I was just like, I guess my monitor's better. I could just see everything. Everything was working well. I don't think I played any group games. We might have played one duos match. I don't really remember, but...
We played with Cody, didn't we?
Yes, but I was on that was still on PlayStation because my account wasn't linked. Remember that nightmare?
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
So that was a problem, but I don't know. I might get back into it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about Cold War.
I liked most of what I played in the beta of Cold War, or the alpha and the beta. There are a few things that concern me. Mostly just the maps aren't very good.
Skill-based matchmaking is killing me.
That's probably a bigger problem for like most people. For me, I don't even notice it really that much anymore. Like every game I've gotten into since like midway through BO4 probably has just felt like the sweatiest lobbies ever. And so I've just kind of tuned out the easy ones if they are even there at all. I don't think about them.
That's another thing that I have to think about too, because everyone talks about that. Like, I have a couple of theories about the skill-based matchmaking. One, I do think it's a thing. And what was it? It was like BO. They said they had skill-based matchmaking in BO2, and everyone's like, "No, you fucking didn't." But what I think is that the skill gap has just decreased dramatically.
100%,
so there's not much.
That's part of it.
So when you're getting into these lobbies and you're like, why am I getting matched up with all these sweaty players? I'm like, maybe that's just what the average player is now. Maybe you're to a point where you may be, good enough to play in ranked, but everyone likes to go and pub stomp and, hit clips. That's what we do. But through the concept of time and people that have still been playing the game since they got people that have been playing since Call of Duty 2. You got people that have been playing since World at War. But those people keep going forward, Yes, Modern Warfare 2 may have been a great time for some people because at the time you were playing against people that had probably just got an Xbox 360 and just got into Modern Warfare. Mm-hmm. Versus now, the people that have been playing Modern Warfare 2 since Modern Warfare 2 came out and are now jumping in, with BO4, with World War 2, with Cold War. Their skills have increased. Therefore, the amount of players that are playing the game, regardless of if that number has grown or diminished, a majority of them are probably better players now than they were during MW2. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's part of it for sure. But the influx of new players every year kind of balances out a lot of that. I think the real issue is people have a inflated sense of how good they are at the game because they've been in so many of those, like, people just don't know what they're doing at all lobbies. And so, like, if you can destroy one of those, okay, like, congrats, you're capable at least. But as the amount of people who can play up to standard increases in a lobby, your individual skill starts to matter less and less. And then you have more and more people playing more than you do. So, like, let's say BO2 was the time probably that Modern Warfare 2 to BO2 was the era that I spent the most time playing Call of Duty. I was in the upper tier of Call of Duty players at that point, playing competitively. I wouldn't say I was elite at either of those games. Maybe MW3. I was actually genuinely very good at that game. But BO2, like, I was maybe good enough to go to an event and, like, compete there. And I would have done okay. I would not have done amazing against higher level competition. Online, I could do okay just because there's still that, like, even amongst the top tier players, like, what separates the 1% and the 5% is a huge difference at the top. Versus, like, if you take, like, let's say, percentages like 20 to 30%, that's probably a pretty close gap. There's not that much of a jump in those 10. As you go from, like, the best 100 people in the world to the best, like, 10,000 people in the world, that's a huge, huge differential.
And, like, even, like, with me, like, my heyday, I guess you could call it, was, like, Black Ops 1. Like, I was great at Black Ops 1. And I didn't see that kind of success again. I did take a break from COD, but, like, World War II, that was probably as good as it was going to get for me as far as, like, competitive goes and, like, keeping my stats up there and keeping consistent with it. Mainly because I spent my entire fucking time during Infinite Warfare playing cage matches in MWR.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I did that religiously, and that's why I'm decent at sniping now because that's all I did was do 1v1s.
And like MWR is a great example. Like there was, in my experience, there were very few easy pub lobbies in that game, just because everyone who was playing it, the majority of them played it 10 years before, so they knew exactly what they were doing.
And never stopped playing it.
There were a few people who never stopped playing it, but like most of them were just like, okay, they did the natural progression cycle. They went from COD 4 to either World at War or waited a year for MW2, and then followed the COD cycle all the way through. But at that point, like people had understood the matchmaking, you know, like the PvP elements of Call of Duty. They had learned everything, like you were saying earlier. The base skill level had increased. There weren't that many people coming back to COD 4 for the first time and being like, I have no idea what I'm doing in this game. I didn't play it when it was out. That happened to some, sure. I know some of my friends that didn't start playing until like Black Ops 2 era came back and were like, oh, this is cool, but like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I getting destroyed? And it's like, well, because most of these people know these maps. They've been playing it, or they've played it 10 years ago, and it's just the amount of people who were grinding this game was significant. Like, there wasn't that much competition in the FPS genre as there is now. So people were just either playing Halo or Call of Duty, and that was it. That's what they did.
And that's why, like, I was very frustrated with MDWAR. I didn't play COD 4 when it came out.
Yeah.
I ended up skipping that one. I just wasn't around for it. So coming off of BO3 and being pretty decent at that game, and then Advanced Warfare came out, right?
It was AW, then BO3.
AW, then BO3, then it went to IW?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Ghost was in there somewhere. I can't remember.
Ghost was before.
It was Ghost and then BO3, right?
Ghost, maybe. AW, BO3, IW, World War II.
Okay, yeah. Because coming off of BO3 into Infinite Warfare, I was okay at Infinite Warfare, but as soon as I switched over to MWR, I was in lobbies where I was like always going 6 and 23. And it was extremely frustrating. But I sat there and I had to remember, I was like, you got to think, you were playing against people that have not stopped playing this game since it came out. And most of them praise the Modern Warfare series, so they're going to be better at this game because they know this better than any COD they've ever played. And I had to adapt to that learning curve, and goddamn was it hard to do.
Yeah, that could be brutal. Like,
that's why, like, when we were playing GBs, like, I was fucking clueless, but I got to that point where I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah, Search and Destroy in that game was a whole nother monster when you took it down to the competitive level. When you put 4 people who knew exactly what they were doing, who had been playing the game for that long. Literally every map was just like, who's going to be more patient? Who's going to sit in the right corner? That. Thankfully, we played with a group that was like pretty consistent at being the ones making the right play. But damn, if it wasn't annoying on the ones like the close games where you'd be like, all right, all I have to do is not die here. If I just stay alive, we'll be able to just 2 versus 1 somebody, win a round, and then, nope, you guys just cross at the wrong time, but he ends up getting behind you. And because the maps are so big, the rounds are so long, you never know. Like, he's not forced to go make a play or anything. You're just...
Yeah, we're going to have 2 on offense, straight rush, left on vacant, and get collided right out of the hangar.
Yeah, something like that. Or like, what was Strike in the statue area? You'd be like, okay, cool. We have this place locked down. There's no way they can get in. Absolutely unlocked. The bomb is in here as well. We're watching it. We know where he is. And then you take like one glance away to go check one corner, and he's like crouch walked around a corner and shot you in the back. And you're like, all right, well, that was somehow I was the most patient.
Every time on Crash. Every time on Crash.
Yeah, Crash played a little faster as well, which was also weird. Like, most of the maps played very slow, and then Crash was just like, okay, and here's what we're going to do. Run.
And then we were in situations where, like, I always liked the maps that no one else liked. Yeah. So I love Bog. I liked Backlot. What was the other map I liked? Was it
Crossfire?
Crossfire? Yeah, I always want to say Crossroads. Because I played all the maps in 1v1s, so I knew every spot on the maps. I knew how I could get around unseen.
Yeah.
And that helped me to an advantage of not having an advantage to begin with. And then somehow clutching a couple 1v3s along the way.
The first, that BO3 1v3 on Redwood, that still just blows my mind how that worked out. I
Say,
still
I ended up-
laugh about that all the time.
What was it? That middle bunker was where I was in Redwood. For any COD person who understands what I'm about to say.
Yeah, so for anyone who
I don't
doesn't
even
play
remember-
COD, this part's just pointless. But
So I barely even remember the play. I remember I was in that mid room and I got 2 of them, and I was gunning down one because I had the the RK5? Was it the handgun?
yeah, because it was the RK5 in one of the games and the RK7 in the other. So I think it was the 5 in BO3 and the 7 in BO4.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure I killed that guy, got heat waved by the second guy that was the one I was trying to kill, and as I was heat waved and like zoned out of it, the other guy came in behind me, and I just managed to back into the corner and just sprayed him down to the RK5.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you killed the guy that was wall running behind the bunker.
Yeah.
I think you M8 or something. You used something to kill him. And then you switched to your RK5 and got into that little weird heat wave gunfight with the guy who was chasing you. And then afterwards, you just backed into a corner, and the other dude ran into the room, like blindly trying to find you.
Because he slid in. Because I remember he slid through the doorway, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, that was before. Before you had played a lot of like competitive stuff with us, so we had no idea what to expect from you, and then after like dying a couple times in a row, you just bust out a 1v3 and save a round, and me and Brian were just like, what the hell did we just witness?
So Brian jumps over my bed, and he's like, oh my god. I was like, next round, dude, come on. And then I had several 1v3 clutches in MWR. The only one I remember though was I'm forgetting all the maps. The one with Market in the middle.
With Market in the that is District.
Yeah, District. Because I remember I got into a gunfight, and a 74U versus 74U gunfight in Arches, right next to B-Bomb.
Yeah, I think it's B.
That's where that was. And I was just like, and ended up getting him through a wall bang. I was like, awesome.
God, that
And then
game
our classic 2v2 moment on Backlot when I just snapped on Dumpster with the Barrett.
yeah, that was nasty.
It was quite possibly the greatest play ever made.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was good.
It was the greatest play ever made.
Don't make me do it.
I'm better.
I'm better.
Classic.
I still remember sniping a guy out of midair in a competitive match in MWR and getting a hit marker and then him just dying because of the fall damage.
My favorite was the 3v3 you, me, and Tyler were playing on Overgrown. And I just rushed into mid building, went up the stairs, and just gunned them all down.
Oh yeah, you screaming like a maniac.
We were like 10 seconds into the round, and then it was over, and I was just like, got him. I have that clip in a montage, a very poorly made montage.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a similar moment that I don't have saved where in that same building, but outside to the right little grassy area.
Yeah.
Like in between the two, like the turret building.
What you would consider the Overgrown area.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was running around that side, and this was like in a high-ranked competitive match. Like we were aiming. This was on the streak that me, Blake, Nick, and Brian had, where we were on like a 20-something.
I'll say it was like 27 win streak, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 25 or 27 or something like that. But it was like the 15th game of that, and we were just destroying teams, just randomly on this super hot streak. We go around the right side of that building, or I do, and I think Nick was behind me. And as I run there, I see 3 of them coming through the same doorway. And I was like, oh, damn. Start spraying, end up getting all 3 of them. And then the 4th guy I don't even know where he came from. I never saw him the entire time. But he comes running in trying to knife me. And so I kill his teammates. I was like, oh, cool. Just got a 3-piece. That was cool. And then the knife just flashes in front of my face and he misses. And I stabbed him. Yeah, just out of like panic knife reflex mode. I got the kill. It was just like, what just happened?
And the guy's bitching because you knifed him.
Well, everything, because we were in party chats and stuff. So like everything is just, we're all just confused. The round started and we were maybe 15 seconds in. And then their whole team just floods out of one doorway, apparently, and I got all of them. And Nick was like, "Okay, let's talk about that. What happened?" I was like, "I have no idea."
Or the 1v3 you had on strike. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. You just patiently waited for all of them to walk around bomb, and then you just went ham.
We actually have that clip. I can actually send that one to you.
Sure.
If we wanted to overlay it into the video.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, because none of this otherwise makes sense for anyone else watching this. It's just rambling, which I don't really apologize for.
That's exactly what this is supposed to be. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of another moment like that. I think most of them was just, collateral nades like right off the start and back lot, just right over. Just nade the car every time.
Or when you and Tyler were playing, there was one time where we all threw nades, and I don't remember who all hit. Or I don't remember which.
But we won the round, didn't we?
Yeah, we all three threw them, and just everybody got a kill, and it was like, okay, nice, just like
nice round, guys. GG's.
Good work, and we'll see you here next time.
And then the famous rounds were you guys without me. You guys played Predator 3 separate times.
Those have to be the sweatiest S&D matches I've ever played in my life. Predator, Rated,
Predator.
All those guys, like, genuinely the sweatiest teams I've ever played. Like,
but it was so funny because as you guys were playing them, I was watching the stream of Predator playing you guys, and I will never fucking forget. You guys had just ended the round. I heard you screaming in your room, and it showed the kill cam was Brian getting killed, and I just hear Rated say, "That guy needs to sell his PlayStation."
Because we lost the first one pretty badly. We ended up getting like 6-3, I think, on both maps. But then the second time, I think we got 6-5 in the second map, so we lost 2-0, I think. We might have won one, but anyway, I remember we lost a heartbreaker anyway. And then the third one, it was a 1-1 map count, and we lost like a 6-4 because I think we got double naded off the spawn in the last round. I'm pretty sure 2 of us went down immediately. I don't remember if that was Crash. No, I think we won Crash. We might have gotten naded on Strike. I think that might have been it.
And then we all moved over to BO4, and Cody was carrying us.
Yeah, I still have one clip where I got a full-on, like, I think 1v5 in BO4, and that was...
I have so many 5-on grab slams in BO4, it's hilarious.
But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Predator's team was 13th on the ladder the first time we played them, and then they were 3rd and then 4th the next 2 times that we played them. So out of like 30,000 or so, maybe even 50,000 or so teams, they were top 15 all 3 times. And yeah, so when you talk about just pure nerdiness of video game players, you just pick a corner and be like, all right, this is it. This is my corner.
I can't move.
If I move, they're going to know exactly where I am. If one of them shoots at me,
they will hear it, and I will get wall banged.
Literally, if one of them shoots at me, we'll have a pretty good idea of where the other 3 of them are, so we'll know where they are, but then we're playing a 3v4, and no one wants to do that. And
I mean, every time you guys have the opportunity to shine, something happens. Like the first time you guys played Predator, Nick was freaking the fuck out. And you really needed Nick to clutch up in your game against TST.
Thankfully, that was not anything to do with me. I am 0-0 against TST. Have not played them. That was Nick,
it was
Cody, and
Bobby.
And yeah, Bobby was there.
Yeah, because that was at
Anaheim.
Was it at Anaheim? I thought you guys did it at Columbus.
No, TST. I don't remember if TST was full time.
No. You guys were in line to do the 2v2 thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah, the only other like big names that we've played online were just a bunch of old pros, and we've got a pretty surprisingly good record against them.
I free-for-all sniped against Dirty.
Oh yeah, FaZe Dirty. We did do that.
Yeah, tried to win a Scuff Vantage, and because I was using a Scuff Vantage, I was not good. But I did collat Dirty once. That's my claim to fame.
He killed me, killed another guy. I respawned. He killed me and got a triple feed. And I was like, all right, sick, awesome, great. But
it was so cool how it was set up because they had like 2 rows of players, and then he was on like this elevated booth right here in the center. So he was just looking at everyone. He just goes, all right, you guys ready? And I was just like, I'm about to get my ass clapped.
My controller was broken, and that was tough because I had
an 8-year-old kid next to me explaining to me how to use a Scuff controller, and I was like, I have one of these at home. This is a Scuff Vantage. No one has these yet.
Yeah, but I remember trying to sprint right at the start of the gate, and I just couldn't. So I died like 3 times in a row trying to figure out what was wrong with the controller. And I was like, oh, this is off to a horrible start. All right.
Tough. It was good times, though. Good times.
That was good times. 3 days of just absolute gamer passion at fucking CWL Columbus.
Classic. And then EG won, and everyone was pissed.
That's just, we don't want to talk about that.
Nope, we don't talk about that. In other news,
Or how Optic
our
got
top
knocked
story
out by
tonight.
EG. That was
Anywho,
heartbreaking.
we cried.
That was still when I was running that competitive news, Call of Duty news show too. I was just like, all right, OG's fate is sealed, man. Let's go. They're in. All they have to do is take 1 map off of EG, and they're like, we're packing to go to Columbus. And I'm just seeing them get dominated in the hard point, and I'm like, this isn't real, right?
The one time we get to go to Champs and Optic's not going to be playing.
Like, are you're kidding me, right? And then, yeah, everything just went wrong. And I was like, okay.
But I mean, we still got to meet Scump.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Met Seth, met Methods.
Met a lot of people.
Yeah, I have the poster thing somewhere. I don't even know where I put it.
I have 3 of them that are just signed by everybody. I got Maven on there.
There you go. Jeez.
Who do I want to be next to? Scumpy. Duo.
Rich Campbell, man. I love that guy so much. Oh, yeah, that was a good trip. Particularly getting out of the car after driving like the 8 hours or whatever that it was to get there.
So what time did we leave? Like 4 a.m.?
Yeah, it was like 3:30
like 3 or 4.
I think we left out of... Me and Brian left the apartment to go get Nick at like 3 o'clock. And then we spent about 20 or 30 minutes...
Packing up the car.
Yeah, well, we had to get their stuff into the car. We had to get Nick awake to just get into the car. And then we came back to the apartment and got you. I think you were... I think we had to like maybe woken you up or something like right before we left. I don't remember exactly how that played out. But anyway, me and Brian went out to go get like McDonald's and we were dropping something off at his house, I think. But then we were like, fuck it, let's get Nick and let's just do this. Like, we're not going to make it on time otherwise. And we were still like an hour late.
Yeah, but I mean, and that first day was fun, but it was so rough. And then that night was that's the best night's sleep I had ever gotten.
It genuinely might have been the best sleep I've ever had.
And still to this day, it was still the best night's sleep I've had. So I have not slept well since the first night at Columbus.
And that
hotel bed was hitting different. Because it was like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and you and me just laid down. And we're like, oh, and we were just done.
I was falling asleep in the venue. That's how tired I was.
Yeah, I did too. And then we woke up the next morning like at 8:30. We were just like, it's another great day. It was wonderful.
Because LG and Rise were playing, and I was watching intently through first map, and I was like, this is going to be a great series. This is fantastic. Oh, man. Always wanted to be here to watch this. And then, like, map 2 started, and about halfway through, I was like, I'm a little tired. I could probably just, like, I'll wake up in time for map 3. And then I woke up, and they're, like, jumping into map 5, and I was like, huh? What just happened?
You wake up, and it's Ghost and Echo Fox, and you're like, wait.
This I think it was map 5. Whatever the series ended on, I fell asleep on an early map and then fell asleep on the last map, or woke up during the last map rather. That was so fun. They'd wake up and be like, "What? Where am I? Oh right, we're in Columbus. Oh, the game is on. Wait, like, oh yes, right. This is happening. Okay, let me watch." And then Rise lost. The projected favorites to win the event get knocked out literally at the end of the first day, and I was just like, oh, this is batshit. Anyway.
Yeah, that whole event was insane. I gotta sleep.
Yeah, that whole thing played out so weird. I don't know.
It was an interesting time.
Yeah, it was a good time. I think by day 3, we had gotten to the point where it was like, okay, it's time to wrap up because I am just physically drained. I am surviving on G Fuel and like 2
We
meals.
had so much G Fuel. It was so bad.
Yeah, considering you get it for free though, like,
yeah,
it's not a bad marketing strategy for them.
Say, because like you could get tubs for half price and shakers were half price at the event. So I got like 2 shakers. I don't think I bought any tubs, but I drank a lot of G Fuel that day.
One of
It's
the
funny
members-
because I got the I might have only bought one shaker, but I know because I got the champ shaker.
You got the green
every
champ
time,
shaker, right?
Yeah, the gold one.
Yeah.
And every time I open it, I'm just like, champs.
Yeah, they did smell pretty funky.
They smell odd. Did you get the? You didn't get the TK one. You already had the TK one, right?
No, I got the TK one at Champs.
Oh, you did? Okay, because you got that one. I know Nick got the Rise shaker. Brian got the Phase shaker.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the only shaker I bought in person at the event. I just kept it with me throughout the last 2 days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, those shakers were a little grody. Not gonna lie.
It was a little rough.
I don't remember who it was that I saw. I think it was one of the members of Dare. One of the guys walked up and just bought like 6 tubs and was like, I'm out entirely, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy them here and just leave them in the hotel room. I was like, I respect it, man. I respect it.
I respect it too, especially at the time Dare wasn't sponsored by G Fuel. And now Dare doesn't exist.
Well, you win some.
I knew that's where you were going with it, so I was just like, I'm going to let this one play out.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that anyway. So, what else should we talk about? You like stuff?
I do like stuff.
That's great.
Isn't it, though?
What? I had something I meant to bring up on the podcast, actually, but I'm forgetting exactly what it is now. So that's awesome. Makes for great radio.
Is it Baby Yoda?
Actually, it is.
No way, really? Okay, hit me with it.
Did you see the clip that Christian Harloff retweeted today of Brett Sheridan predicting Baby Yoda on Collider Live 2 years ago?
No.
So they were talking roughly 2 years ago about what they wanted to see next from Star Wars. And Brett, jokingly, who's not a Star Wars fan at all, he was listening to them talk and he goes, I just want to see Baby Yoda. And they're like, no, you don't. You do not. You do not want a Yoda movie. I'm telling you, it would not be good. And he's like, I just want to hold him. And they're like, okay, in that case, then yes, absolutely. You do want to see a Baby Yoda. Yeah, that's cool. He's like, yeah,
now,
not like in a movie form or anything. I just want to like actually have him. And then, yeah.
Baby Yoda. Wow.
He put up the clip and Christian was like, well, that's something, huh? And everyone's like, look at you dummy. You said we didn't want Baby Yoda.
I love Brett Sheridan on that show because every time they're like, when they get into like real nerdy stuff like that, like he's out of the loop completely.
Oh, yeah, over his head.
Yeah, so when they were talking about the new Batman trailer, that was the best thing because they were just going back and back with all their theories. And they're like, well, and they're like, well, what about you, Brett? Huh? What did you like about it? He goes, well, I like that Nirvana song. And they were like, yo, actually, that's a good point. That's such a pivotal song to use in a trailer. And I was just like, wow, Brett, you just saved the day, to be honest. He goes, I like that Nirvana song they used.
Brett, he's the best. He really is just fantastic.
He is marvelous.
Between him and Winston, that was like, those were the two that were getting me through some of those earlier shows. They are both just scene stealers.
That and RB3.
RB3's laugh might be the best thing on the planet. Actually.
RB3's laugh and everyone shitting on Ben Goddard. I love him to death, but every time, because like they'll just give him so much shit, and then he's like, all right, you know what? Fuck you guys. You read the fucking news.
He got upgraded to a full-time...
he's a panelist now, isn't he? Yeah.
So he's no longer just going to be the street boy.
Hey Alex is going to be reading the news, right?
Yeah, Alex Marzone, yeah.
Hey Alex.
And honestly, Alex, he's probably quicker headed to fame than any of them. That dude's music is fucking it is good.
You're right.
I had a small spree where I was addicted to it there for about a month. I'm sure you remember.
Oh yeah, and I mean it was good music. He needs to be on the Winger Show.
I mean, he's been on like 10 times.
Yeah, make it 11.
I'm down. Super down. He was just on when he was promoting Cherry Blossom, and I think he's done it once since then, maybe. So like,
I only started listening to the podcast like maybe almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Hasn't been very long, so.
He was on in May, and I think he might have been on once since then.
I think there's only been, since I started listening, there's only been 2 guests. That was RB3 and
Grace Hancock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a UTI there, you little bitch?
Yeah, because I think the week...
Famous departed line.
I think like the week before you started, was that when Striffler was on? Or...
I have no idea. At the time, I watched the newest episode, and it was RB3, and it was like his 12th time on the show or something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was the week after karaoke, I think is what that show was. I'm pretty sure.
So they did, not this most recent one, but the one before that, I guess. Because they did karaoke night like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I imagine they've done more than one karaoke night.
No, that was the first one. That was the first one they've done.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, no, RB3 was on it well before the karaoke night.
Was it? Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because there's a couple that I haven't watched. That's right. I keep forgetting.
I was because the karaoke night was like, I think only like 3 weeks ago.
Was it really? Jesus.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been 2 months already. Those are good time.
It was a good one, though. All the sound bites they got from it are amazing.
That night, I was just, I don't know, I was completely out of it. Nothing was entertaining me. I was just having a shitty down night. And then I was like, oh, wait, the Wanger karaoke is on. Let me click on that. And then the first thing I see is just Striffler tearing it up in his second round, whatever that song was. I don't even remember it anymore. But it was,
was that when he was doing I can't think of the name of the song. Fuck.
He did The Greatest Showman. That's what it was. Whatever that song
okay.
was.
I was thinking of
I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. Is that what you're thinking of?
I think maybe.
I chimed in with...
Yeah.
Yeah. He did that for his fourth song, I think.
I chimed in with the haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door. Anyway.
But goddamn.
No. And so I have to... Oh, God, fuck, son of a bitch. Christian. Oh, God.
If you don't understand what we're talking about, which the majority of people won't, The Wanger Show is a podcast. A group of friends call themselves The Wangers. Brian Perez, Cody Hall, Christian Rubalcaba, joined by Eric Striffler from Pretty Much It, held a karaoke night a couple of weeks ago at Brian's house, I think, and they just did live karaoke for the internet. They had costumes. They chose a bunch of mostly 2000s emo songs. It was great. It was a great time.
It was a good time. And if you don't know us as well, most of the stuff we do is just quote everything else because we are very unoriginal.
I mean, I'd say we're very original. I think we're just...
I am very unoriginal.
Okay, that works.
90% of what comes out of my mouth are quotes from TV and movies, and some of them are so obscure that everyone doesn't even bat an eye at it. So I'm just like, okay. I'm a perfect collage of bullshit.
Sure. If that's what you want to say, that's fine.
I mean, what would you say? Eccentric?
I wouldn't say much at all. That's the key.
Okay.
I think all of my most original stuff is just the stuff that I write. That's really where all of my creativity goes.
Okay, I wouldn't say all that's original either. Hold up there, buddy.
Well, maybe not all of it, but that's where the vast majority.
As soon as I said that, I thought, I was like, well, okay, no, you got some stuff that's out there.
Yeah, I have some weird ideas. Where's the notebook? Put it over there. I might have. Yeah, I think I moved it. The short story I was working on 2 months ago. It was about a kid from Kansas who starts a ska band and then finds a genie in a cornfield.
Oh yeah.
I think I settled on the title T.J. Tyler and the Wily Imposters. I think that's what that short story was going to be called.
That's insane. That's very original.
Well, see, that was just his band name, and I just going to use it for the story.
All right, that's quite the name.
I mean, I really just kind of repurposed Hank Green and the Perfect Strangers, which is Hank Green's actual band. So I just took the idea and just played with it a little bit until it was different. It was like, that works. Cool.
Good old Anglerfish.
The Anglerfish song fucking slaps. It's nerdy, it's dumb, but it's beautiful.
And that's the point.
And it also inspired that short story, because that's why he was in a ska band. Hank Green is between Hank and John, they're mostly the reason that I write. They give me most of my best ideas, which doesn't really surprise me.
You're kind of up there with them as far as like stuff you think about.
Yeah, they express a lot of the wilder things that I think, and it ends up becoming productivity for me. Particularly like social issues. I understand them very well. I sometimes fail to articulate that same understanding. But then I'll listen to Hank say it, and I'm like, yes, those are the words I should have used. Thank you. And it unlocks something in my brain. I don't know what that is, but it's like every time I hear something that resonates really heavily with me, whether from them or from anyone else, it's like turning a key in an ignition. It just like sparks something, and then suddenly I'm running with it literally until the tank runs dry. Which, as far as the story that I'm actually working on, the one that TJ Tyler was just kind of a distraction from, was my boarding school story, which pretty inspired by stuff that John's done and things that he's talked about. That hit like a hard crash this week, or really last week, and this continued on into this week, where I'm like, I'm making little bits of progress every day, but as far as like actual writing goes, I tweeted it yesterday to somebody's response. Might have been Robert Cargill. But he was asking, or maybe it was Chuck Wendig, but one of them asked, like, how many words have you guys gotten today? And I was like, 123 over 3 hours. It's not going great. Like, I've been at 13,000 and some odd words for like 4 days now. I just don't know where to go from here.
I mean,
I really
been there, done that.
I think I do know where to go. I just don't know how to like get where I need to be to like make things better. And so it's real slow right now. And that's a real pain in the ass. Like when you're talking about how much of my creativity really goes into the writing thing, because then it all just starts to fester in my head and I don't have any way to like let it out. And then
there's a gas station robbery that they get held up in.
That's better than my last idea, which was they burn a house down.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah. Not with anyone inside of it, just they burn the house itself.
Tough.
Which I thought for like 3 days was going to be my way to move forward. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, figured it out. They're going to burn the house down. That's going to be a really weird shift, but it's going to be fun. And then I went back and considered it and we're like, no, that's not it at all. That was just me being excited and having hopes. But no, that's not the right choice. I got to go back. Let's just delete that idea and replace it with something. And then I found out like the right conversation that needed to happen to get me a little further ahead. But I'm still dealing with the same problem where I was like, I made the right choice. They should not have burnt the house down. But I didn't fix everything.
That sounds about how it should go.
And when you're your own like boss in that regard, like when no one's telling you where to go creatively, you have to have those moments where you're like, I don't know, maybe they should just live in the sewer. And then like a week later, you're like, no, back up.
See, and that's why like the people that talk about like when you get writer's block and they go on and they're like, just keep writing, just don't stop, just add in something, and then a dragon came out of the sky and then just right from there. I'm like, I guess, but what the fuck? How would that help me?
It does work for some people. That's why people say it. Like just keeping the words funneling and eliminating something you don't want to do. Like writing 1,000 words about a dragon attacking and then being like, okay, obviously that's dumb. Now go back to the beginning. What should happen? That does work for some people. For me, I have to be a little more methodical or else my brain just like doesn't let me go forward. If I do say like, okay, they're at this house and they have this conversation and now I need to know like what makes sense for the plot going forward. They have new information. It sets them forward on their quest, but where are they going? I can't be like, and then the ghost taxi shows up and the demon driving it escorts them. Like, I'll get like 3,000 words in and be like, oh, that was funny. Anyway, I'm done for the day. I didn't fix anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I just wasted all of my time.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It's like you're wasting all this time where you could be trying to push a story forward, but you end up just bullshitting your way through it, which is what I did with the end of our book. I just completely bullshitted the end of it because it was like, I just need the outline there on the screen. I'll fix it later. And that was a year ago. I did that a year ago and haven't decided to fix that since.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but I also haven't touched it, so I can't say anything.
I'll fix it.
Which, actually, no, I have gone back and tried to rewrite that book like twice now. I just always get like 1,000 or 3,000 or some odd words in, and then I'm like, this is a lot. There's so much that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, because we have, what was it, 45,000 words?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Give or take 2,000 or 3,000. Yeah, you're probably right.
And then you got, 40,000 words is an appropriate chapter 1. What?
No, 40,000 is like half of what that book will probably end up being.
Yeah, 100%. I see it being about 80 to 90,000 words by the time it's done. Also, if you guys are unaware, not only do we have content on YouTube, but we're also writing a book.
Yeah.
Plural, books.
Looks to be a trilogy, but I guess we'll figure that out. We have the ideas for books 1 and 2. We're not really sure what's got to happen next to give it an ending. That's really
yeah, pretty much
the kick in the ass.
A lot of plot twists and a lot of they fight to get through.
I'm not so much worried
about
middle
plot.
I'm not worried about the they fight stuff. That stuff's easy, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm really good at that part. I'm really good at and they fight.
I'm just worried about narrative stuff and like how our 40,000 words that we have written are essentially like a glorified outline and not like an actual story, which is concerning. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
It'll take time, but we'll get there, and it'll be a good time once it's done.
Yeah, I really just need to buckle down and finish what I'm trying to do here with
And then I'm going to be like, hey, Del Rey, baby, how's it going?
I wish.
And they're going to be like, get off the phone.
For the last time, this is Pizza Hut.
For the last time, we did not order a giant trampoline.
So good. So good. Yeah, I'm struggling through writing. I think part of it is also like election woes. Like I'm just not mentally okay right now.
I know, I'm at a point where I'm just like, I have so much content I wanted to try to do today and tomorrow while I'm off. Especially for like some TikTok content I want to do because I got some songs I need to practice on my bass and then upload some of those because that'd be a good thing to do so I don't lose track of what I've already got going. But at the same time, I would like an answer on the election before I keep moving forward. But we're just going to have to play the waiting game.
I've been reading.
Oh, yeah, I've been reading, too. Yeah, this book right there.
Peace Talks by Jim Butcher.
Hell yeah.
It was just casually sitting in my floor because I was reading it in my floor last night.
And right...
You can see it. It's got the blue pages.
Right there. This book has got blue pages. It's really cool. It's a Star Wars book. It's called Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising by Timothy Zahn. Wonderful book. A lot of interesting story, and it's just all new material, and I love it. I could go on about the 4 chapters I've read.
I have read. Let's take a look. I'm on chapter 24.
I think I've gotten through, like 4 or 5 chapters and 3 interludes. So I'm about to start interlude 4. So I guess collectively about like 9 chapters I've already read.
Yeah, those interludes, spacing out between chapters, yeah. That would...
I mean, some of them are only like 2 pages, but like it's cool.
There was one last thing that I know for sure that I had prepared. But yeah, last thing. Playing D&D and watching D&D. Just been obsessed with D&D this week. Created a couple of characters just to test out things and see how... Because my history with Dungeons & Dragons is not an extensive one. Like, I'm pretty well-versed, but, like, I have friends that are way more into it than I am. So, yeah. I'm going to test some things out. I'm going to get a look. I want to watch a couple of campaigns, get a feel for some different styles, because I'm hoping to host a game here at our apartment for a few friends. And as I've been watching, I was like, oh, I really do like tabletop games for their ability to storytell. But the one supremely difficult thing about Dungeons & Dragons is that combat and the associated, like, getting ready to enter it and all of that, like, it takes so long to get to the good parts.
Yeah.
In D&D, just because there's such a vast difference between usually what the players are trying to do and what a story wants them to do. And I've spent so much time this week trying to figure out how to kind of wrangle that in and like manage it better and be better at that kind of thing. And then I realized it's exactly what we were talking about earlier. And that's what it was. What made me think of this. You were talking about adding a dragon to a scene, or like, I was saying like the ghost demon taxi driver.
Yeah.
I was like, that's exactly the kind of storytelling that you encourage in tabletop games. If you've got like a situation where you're like, oh yeah, the party of 5 members is stuck in this town and they can't decide where to go, and one of them thinks they should go investigate the rich guy, but one of them thinks they should go to the docks, but one of them thinks they should go to the sewers. It's like, that's the appropriate time to like, and then an explosion in the city happens and everyone is running for their lives and they're all headed towards the docks. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the time where it's like, that's the acceptable thing to do. And I think that was the comment I was trying to think of, was just like, different types of storytelling encourage different things. My writing, yeah, it has to be like cold, meticulous, calculated. I have to know everything that's going on or else I'm just not going to get anything done. Tabletop games, yeah, sure. Give me all of the randomness. Like, that's my shit right there.
I love D&D and I really enjoy it, but I hate telling people that I play it. Mainly because every time I'm there, they're like, oh, you should be in my campaign. I'm like, no.
No, I'm good.
But it's only because like if I had the time, I would totally do it. But it's like I've played like 8 campaigns, and I still cannot sit by myself and create a character because I don't know how to do it. I never took the time to figure it out. The DM always sits down with me and then like goes through it with me, and that's about as far as it would go. So they're like, yeah, you just have a character prepared and all that. I'm like, don't even know how to do that, man. I can barely drive to work.
I got lost on my way to work today.
I can barely walk to the bathroom, and I can barely clock in by myself, and you want me to create a D&D character?
See, I'm significantly better at creating the D&D character than I am at clocking in.
I mean, I could think about the character, but like actually like rolling the dice, I don't know what to roll for I don't know what to do.
It depends on your style.
I can sit here and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna be a Browning. I'm gonna be a Browning. I'm gonna be a 4-inch character. And he's going to use a Berserk Greatsword. I can come up with that idea all day. And then I have writing all like, rolling for stats. And I don't know what to roll and for how and why. And
that's why there are different methods to generate those things as well. You could do point by, you could do standard array, but you don't really have to roll necessarily. You just add like whatever your highest is. I think it goes 15 to 8. And you do it by 2s.
Because you gotta roll like 5d6 and
yeah, there are multiple ways to set it up, but like using something like D&D Beyond, which guides you through all of that just step by step, is the way that I prefer to have people build their sheets anyway, because then it accounts for everything and you can just print them off.
That's what I prefer about D&D Beyond, is because I can sit there and just actually like read through it and understand how everything's supposed to attach.
Yeah, it's simpler for people who don't play that much or haven't had that much character creation experience, and also there's no ways to skip a step and have somebody like accidentally mess something up. You want to just go option by option. But yeah, I think as I'm getting older, I'm starting to appreciate that kind of that effort and that energy. Anytime someone is like, hey, you should play D&D with us. I run a game from 6 to 12 or whatever on Tuesdays. And you're like, cool, yeah, I'll join. Like, as a kid, it was just like, yeah, sure, this is just something we're doing. But as you get older and you start to play in more of them, I've started to think like, no, after putting a game together myself, putting a couple of games together myself, like it's an insane amount of prep work. And you have to really know what you're trying to get out of a campaign if it's going to be any good at all. And so things like that innovative, like on your feet, just changing the beats of the story, or like calling in a bomb or a dragon or a ghost cab driver or whatever, like that kind of that ability to just improvise and just keep things rolling, plus the dedication it takes to be like, okay, whether you're playing out of a map where you're like, this is Waterdeep and Wizards of the Coast built this city and everything's here and I know I have a map right here in front of me that shows me where everything is, or if you've homebrewed a world and you're like, there are 19 places in this world that you can go, and as a game master, I have to figure out a reason for everything to be there. If my player wants to ask if he can buy flaming arrows, I have to have a place for that to happen. Or
yeah, and then you got to make sure
get arrows and then set them on fire.
Yeah, and then there's going to be the big kick in the ass when they don't want to go to any of those places, and you're just like, well, fuck.
That's the kind of innovation thing, though. It's like, if you get to a point where, like, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, then you just force them to go. You're just like, oh, and then there's a torrential storm, and it's forcing you back inside the house. And it's like, you can stay outside and die, I guess. Or you go back in the house.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, because, like, when it comes up with stuff like that, like, you always want to have, like, you have these 5 locations plot out, right?
Yeah.
But you only give them 2.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't want to go to either of those 2. It's like, okay, well, I've come prepared.
Yeah, you can just kind of default tier system your way. Like, well, we're not really interested in going to the garage. And you're like, okay, no garage. All right, that's fine. What about this, like, hidden bunker on the other side of town that you have to, like, chase a rabbit to? How about that? Ooh. Chase the magic rabbit. Yeah. And they're like, oh, shit, magic rabbit. And you're like, haha, I did it. I got him.
You're like, yeah, the garage would have been cooler, though, but okay.
Yeah, there was a zombie in that garage, and it was going to be real fun, but...
Well, see, that's the fun part. Then you just switch the location around. It's like, well, you were going to go here. Now you're going here. But what I wanted to happen here, I'm just going to put it over here, and no one's going to know.
And you'll never know.
Because I'm the DM.
Yeah, that kind of energy, I definitely respect it. I've played in some campaigns where it's like, you can tell this thing is on rails, and we're only going to ever go exactly where the module or whatever is telling you to go. Then I've played campaigns that are like, you guys don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. We can just let the princess die or whatever. You guys can just go try some other shit if that's really... Let's go
set a village on fire.
You want to learn how to skateboard? You're like, yes, I do.
Wheels haven't been invented yet. You're about to invent the wheel.
Well, if you have magic, you're like, okay, well, I invent a wheel. I summon a wheel.
But if there's no such thing as a wheel, how could you summon a wheel?
Well, if you're magic, you need something that rolls. And, well, you roll into, like, you know, whether it's divine or infernal magic or whatever. You're like, okay, I'm going to use this to channel something that rolls well. And if, you know, you get like a 20, you get a wheel. If you get like a 1, you get like a triangle.
A triangle. I mean, technically, you can still roll a triangle. A D4 is a pyramid.
You can roll it, but, like, can you ride on it is really the issue. Especially if you get, like, multiple of them at different angles.
I guess that depends on your acrobatics check.
Well, it really depends on the ability of the triangles to roll. Like,
willpower.
Just
your magic, make it roll anyway.
You just put a thin layer around the triangle so it just, like, glides you. It looks like it's rolling, but you're actually just levitating over it.
Yeah, you put some Vaseline over the camera lens and no one will know.
Everything looks the same. It all looks like Scream 4.
Oh my god. Let me put a soap filter on this.
Yeah, that looks great and overblown and terrible. Awesome. And action.
I never understood. That's the one thing I just don't like about that movie is everything is washed with a soap opera filter. So everything unnecessarily shines.
It's only ever, like, noticeable to me when they're outside. Otherwise, everything seems fine.
Yeah, inside it's fine. Outside, it looks... I was like, did you film this with the same shit you used to film Christopher Eccleston's Doctor Who episodes? Because, fuck, dude.
I mean, those wouldn't have been super far off in timeline, but, like...
Yeah, well...
It's been a couple of years, at least. Yeah, that movie is... Everything about that movie is weird.
The movie's fun. I like the movie, but, yeah... The camera work was weird.
I definitely like the movie. That's for its all of its weirdness, for all of its things that could probably have been fixed or improved about it. I still really like it. It's a lot of fun.
And I'm gonna definitely be excited for Scream 5.
Oh yeah, whenever we're actually able to do that.
Yeah.
Super.
But I mean,
super
you got David Arquette, you got Nev Campbell, so.
Yeah, like, things are looking good. It's just, you know, are we ever going to be out of this pandemic to actually film it? Or can we find a way to film it inside of the pandemic, I guess, is really the question.
Anyway. And isn't the writers the same guys that wrote that hide and seek movie? Ready or Not. Yeah.
I think that's right.
It's the same writer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm cool with ending it here if you are.
I mean, there's not much else to talk about. I know we could keep mumbling, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Hour and a half. That's a new one. And it'll probably get longer as we have more stuff that we feel like talking about. Just depends, though.
Yeah, well, anywhere from an hour to 2 is probably a safe bet. Like,
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
there were lulls in this episode where we were just
maybe 4 if we're feeling.
We watched Return of the King or something.
The Return of the King extended edition. Like if you want a Return of the King, if you want a Lord of the Rings extended edition commentary.
And let us know if you guys want movie commentaries. I'm down to do that.
I'm down to do movie commentaries. If anyone has any of those, if you've watched this far and you feel like listening to that, let us know in the comments. But this was maybe next week, episode 2. It was a good time. I had fun. Hope you did too. If you didn't, I mean, it is what it is.
Pretty sure I'm getting a tan from my lights right now. They are fucking
Yeah, it's
hot.
a little warm in here, so we're going to call it here. We'll maybe see you next week. We don't know. This episode should be up by the time you're watching it.
That didn't work at all.
Anyway.
Take that one back. And take 2,
But,
clockboard.
Okay, take 2, speed, and marker. So to those of you that watched the first episode that we put out and got like 25 views, thank you guys for that. That was pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will see you next week, maybe.